When Jesus walked on water, faith over fear. Have you ever felt like life was sinking around you? Like you've tried everything to stay afloat, but the waves keep pulling you down? There's a story in the Bible that reminds us that even when everything feels out of control, Jesus is still near. It's one of the most powerful moments in his ministry. The moment he walked on water. It was just after the miracle of feeding the 5,000. Jesus told his disciples to get into a boat and go ahead of him to the other side of the Sea of Galilee. Meanwhile, he went up to a mountain by himself to pray. The sun set and the sky grew dark. The wind began to rise. The waves crashed against the small boat, and the disciples fought to keep it from capsizing. They were experienced fishermen. They knew the sea well, but this storm was strong, and fear started to take over. Hours passed. The night felt endless, and Jesus was nowhere in sight. But the Bible says, shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. Imagine that moment. The sky is black, the wind is howling, and through the mist, they see a figure approaching, walking across the waves. Terrified, they cry out, "It's a ghost!" But then, a familiar voice breaks through the storm. Jesus says, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." Peter, bold, impulsive Peter, calls back, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you on the water." And Jesus simply says, "Come." So Peter steps out of the boat. For a moment, he actually walks on water. His feet touch what should have swallowed him, and it holds. He's walking toward Jesus. Every step, his faith keeps him above the waves. But then, the wind roars again. Peter looks around, he sees the waves. He feels the storm. And suddenly, he starts to sink. Fear pulls him down. Where faith once carried him, he cries out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, not a second too late, Jesus reaches out his hand and catches him. "Why did you doubt?" he asks gently. They climb back into the boat. The storm stops. The sea turns still, and the disciples fall to their knees, whispering, "Truly, you are the Son of God." This story isn't just about a miracle on the water. It's a mirror of our own faith. We're all in that boat sometimes. We feel the waves of anxiety, uncertainty, or failure crashing around us. We start with faith, but when life gets harder, fear makes us sink. Peter's mistake wasn't stepping out, it was taking his eyes off Jesus. He started to focus more on the storm than on the one who controls it. And we do the same. We let our circumstances become louder than his voice. But here's the beauty of this story. Jesus didn't let Peter drown. He didn't watch him fall and say, "You should have had more faith." He reached out immediately. Because Jesus doesn't abandon us when we're sinking, he rescues us. Maybe you're walking through your own storm right now. You've tried to stay strong, but fear keeps whispering that you'll fail. You're looking at the waves, the bills, the heartbreak, the unanswered prayers. But Jesus is right there, walking toward you, saying, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." Faith doesn't mean the wind stops. It means you trust the one who walks above it. When you focus on him, fear loses its grip. And even if you fall, he'll reach for you before you hit the water. Sometimes, faith isn't about walking perfectly. It's about reaching for his hand when you start to sink. The storm might not end immediately, but when Jesus is in your boat, peace will always find you. Fear will always try to pull you under, but faith, real faith, keeps you standing on what was meant to drown you. So next time the waves rise, remember Peter. Remember the hand that never let go. And remember these words of Jesus, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." Because with Jesus, even in the middle of a storm, you're never alone.